I can't imagine anyone resisting this culture change. It just sounds like the end user ends up the benefactor.
You're absolutely right. And the most difficult reason why, you might say this seems to be a no-brainer, why don't all nursing homes just today just do this? And the reason is the institutional trappings of a nursing home run so many levels deep that it's very, very difficult to make the change the culture of a nursing home. It's very difficult given how society uh, looks at elders. Society doesn't really value elders. And what we're trying to do here is to create something that is against everything else that's out there in the world and say we're going to create our own little community here where elders are revered and esteemed and respected. And they're going to be able to call the shots and make their lives more meaningful, give them a reason to get out of bed in the morning, give them something that makes life worth living.
You must feel pretty good because the American College of Healthcare Administrators, an organization some 16,000 strong, chose you with the award as Distinguished Administrator. That's a pretty lofty bit of recognition. You obviously must be doing something right.
Well, I was completely shocked and taken by surprise by the award. Obviously, when peers nominate and decide to recognize you, it's the ultimate honor. It's something that I'm very proud of. But mostly, I'm impatient. And I'm impatient to see some of these changes that we're trying to make happen in nursing homes take place. It's been too long, and they need to happen faster. And so that's why I'm thankful that the legislature is getting behind this and recognizing the importance of promoting culture change and the Eden alternative and the greenhouse model and some of the more progressive models.
Well, it's an awesome task that you have because there's a tremendous amount of responsibility. You're dealing with a large number of people in the twilight of their lives. But I think you have to take a great deal of pride in knowing now that as these elders progress in their life, you're going to certainly, seemingly under this Eden Care concept, make their life far more comfortable and far more dignified. And that has to feel pretty good.
We live in an adult-centered society. And we sort of take our children and bring them into adulthood more quickly than they need to be. And we discount elders. But really, we think of three stages of life: childhood, adulthood, and elderhood. And we think that elderhood is a really rich time of life when people are synthesizing their life experience and giving it back in terms of legacy. We think that the nursing home tends to be a medical model. Medicine is a science. Caregiving is an art. And we think caregiving is a sacred art. And we think the elders teach us this sacred art of caregiving. We think that every elder has tremendous value, even the one who's 90 years old, bedridden, incontinent, needs help eating their meals and can't speak. Even that person, when a caregiver provides care for that person and lays their hands on that person, they're learning gentleness and kindness from that individual, learning tolerance and forgiveness. And when a group of caregivers come together to meet the needs of that person, we learn how to be a community. That's really what makes us human. So many of those good things actually happen in nursing homes. And, people drive by a nursing home and they say, thank God I don't have to go in there. It's the place that people say, promise whatever you do, you'll never put me in a nursing home. Parents make their children promise that. But here in the nursing home, what we're trying is to turn everything around and make the elder the one who's revered and respected. We learn lessons from these elders every day. Every elder has value. Even if our society doesn't value them, we do. And that's all part of culture change.
That's a very interesting observation that you make because there are some residents, when you talk about society not valuing them, there are some elders that even in some cases their own families don't value them. It must be sad at times seeing folks that are residents here at Elmhurst or other nursing home facilities or extended care facilities that sometimes never have a visitor.
Mm-hmm.
How tough is that?
It is very difficult. Fortunately for us right now, our families have been very supportive, and most of the time they don't know how they can help. They want to be part, but they don't want to interfere, and we want to be able to bring them in. We don't know their parent the way they do, and by knowing someone, by becoming well known, we can make care better. We can make that whole care process better. But companionship, you know, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, that pain of loneliness that people feel is devastating. It's absolutely devastating, and no pill can cure it. Companionship is the antidote for that. And for some, it's the companionship of an animal. Eden homes have lots of animal companions that live there. We have dogs, cats, birds that live here. Pet therapy, wonderful, and I think every nursing home in the world now does pet therapy, and we love pet therapy. But even more than that, there's nothing like the comfort when your dog is sleeping in your bed. And one of our elders here, her dog sleeps with her every night.
That same dog that may have been with him the last 10 years.
Sure.
One final question. As America continues to age, as medical science continues to get better, as Americans continue to live longer, and the baby boomers get older, what kind of demands or challenges will that put on the nursing home industry, let's say in the next 25 or 30 years?
Well, all of those changes, this tremendous, you know, it's been called a demographic freight train coming down the track. This is going to change. It's going to affect almost every family. Almost every family in the world will be affected by this. Every community in the world will be affected. Economies of countries and politics will be affected. This aging of the world is going to have profound impact all across society. And one of the positives is that society will finally recognize what we've known for a long time, we who get the privilege of working with elders, that elderhood is this truly rich time where we can learn from people who teach us incredible lessons that the rest of the world seems to be forgetting about kindness and gentleness and compassion. All of this stuff we're learning every day and practicing every day in the nursing home. So I hope that the changes that take place in nursing homes that are promoted by legislation that promotes culture change and that's demanded by consumers and provided by those of us who are in the business is that we truly recognize the value of elders and that we create communities, caring communities that are places where people can truly live, truly have a life worth living, which makes work worth doing. You know, it makes our work more meaningful when we're bringing meaning to someone's life. So I think we're on the cusp of a very positive time in our society when it comes to respecting elders.